Birmingham, Democrat Doug Jones has won Alabama's election for the U.S. Senate, scoring an upset victory in a deeply conservative state against a Republican candidate who was backed by President Donald Trump. Jones, 63, a former federal prosecutor, prevailed over former State Chief Justice Roy Moore, whose campaign was dogged by allegations of sexual misconduct toward teenagers. Democrat Doug Jones has won Alabama's election for the U.S. Senate, scoring an upset victory against the embattled Roy Moore in a deeply conservative state against a Republican candidate who was backed by President Donald Trump. More than 200 institutional investors with $26 trillion in assets under management said they would step up pressure on the world's biggest corporate greenhouse gas emitters to combat climate change. San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee died of undisclosed causes. British inflation unexpectedly rose to its highest level in nearly 6 years in November, tightening the post-Brexit vote squeeze on households whose spending is the main driver of the country's economy. Former U.S. soldier Charles Jenkins, who spent nearly 4 decades in North Korea before resettling in Japan, has died aged 77. A lawyer for Rurik Judding, who was jailed for life in Hong Kong for the gruesome murder of 2 Indonesian women, says the judge who presided over the gruesome trial last year had misdirected the jury. Indonesian police are hunting for a U.S. citizen who escaped from an overcrowded Bali prison by cutting through steel bars in a ceiling, the jailer's second breakout of foreign inmates this year. Democrat Doug Jones has won Alabama's election for the U.S. Senate, scoring an upset victory against the embattled Roy Moore in a deeply conservative state against a Republican candidate who was backed by President Donald Trump. Jones, a former prosecutor who mounted a seemingly quixotic Senate campaign in the face of Republican dominance in the state, defeated his scandal-scarred opponent after a brutal campaign. The upset delivered an unimagined victory for Democrats and shaved Republicans and stable Senate majority to a single seat, possibly making it harder for Trump to advance his policy agenda. Jones' victory could have drastic consequences on the national level, snarling Republicans' legislative agenda in Washington and opening, for the first time, a realistic but still difficult path for Democrats to capture the Senate next year. It amounted to a stinging snub Trump, who broke with much of his party and fully embraced Moore's candidacy, seeking to rally support for him in the closing days of the campaign. Trump reacted to the results on Twitter by congratulating Jones. "The write-in votes played a very big factor, but a win is a win," he wrote. Congratulations to Doug Jones on a hard-fought victory. The write-in votes played a very big factor, but a win is a win. The people of Alabama are great, and the Republicans will have another shot at this seat in a very short period of time. It never ends. Get the latest news and updates emailed straight to your inbox. By submitting your email, you are agreeing to Fairfax Media's terms and conditions and privacy policy.